With significant peace restored to Borno State after more than a decade-long insurgency, which affected all spheres of life, especially livelihood of the people, among others, setbacks has encouraged farmers to get back to their fields. Areas that used to be conflict hotspots, including liberated and returnee communities, became safe for agricultural practice, largely with the support of security forces and the Agro Rangers initiative led by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. While the introduction of the Agro Rangers with the support of the state government and voluntary policing groups provided protection for farmers eager to return to their livelihoods, more have continued to join the farming practice as attack on fields diminish. However, the recent attack on farmers on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, brought back fears of the dark days when the insurgents prevented farming, killing anyone that ventures out of any protection zone. What could be the cause and intention of the perpetrators of the violent attacks at the commencement of the cropping season? What are relevant authorities now doing to ensure safety of farmers to prevent repeat of the dastardly acts? This is our focus this afternoon on Panorama from the studios of NTA Maiduguri. I am Yunusa Suleiman. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has made his first presidential diaspora engagement in France. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Usman Jibril reports that the meeting brought together Nigerians from the Europe.
We have been very impressed by the decision you took to eliminate the subsidy.
We need to work out and to think how Nigerians could keep representing Nigeria.
When I got the mic, I told them about the things happening in Nigeria and your policies that has happened in the past 3 weeks. The whole delegation wrote to me and told me they would be happy to come to Nigeria in the next few weeks.
When we have been campaigning, we are totally 100% is going to happen. So we have no doubts. We just have prayers for you.
After giving several testimonies of a good start by the Tinubu government, this group of patriots living across Europe, main concern is creating an enabling environment for investors. Nigeria, a country blessed with human and capital resources, according to them, can attain speedy economic growth with the removal of fuel subsidy and unification of the currency.
The interesting thing about this particular engagement is the extremely short time frame within which it was put together. And for that, because I know the President's program is extremely congested, it is congested. He has a lot of his counterparts here, all the presidents from various parts of the world, wishing to see him. And just today, he has seen 2 heads of state. But he kept asking me, and he kept saying, "What about the diaspora? What about the Nigerian diaspora? What about the Nigerian?" He kept saying that. So, and that tells us what? It tells us that he is very much interested in this meeting.
Against Sudan. So we have Nigerians here who are doing great things back home. We have Nigerians to be proud of. And we have Nigerians who, as Mr. Leke has said, are very excited about the hurricane steps you have taken as president. And the image has changed all of a sudden, and it's like we all want to come back home to Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu gave his usual commitment of taking a more holistic approach at the recovery of the country's economy from the impact of COVID-19 and rising cases of poverty, to provide access to finance and investment that will leverage inclusive growth and development.
Nigeria belongs to all of you, all of us. Our diversity is an asset if we know how to use it for our prosperity. Born of the same father and in the same house, except living in different rooms. We must promote unity, stability, and economic justice for every one of us.
The president received several gifts from his host, including the famous Real Madrid defender David Olatokunbo Alaba. From the French capital Paris, Abraman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
In a significant development for national security, a change of guard has taken place in the armed forces as new service chiefs take command to secure the territorial integrity of the nation. Defense correspondent Dhul-Hijjah reports.
President Tinubu's appointment of the service chiefs is a pivotal moment for the defense sector, with a renewed focus on enhancing the country's security apparatus. As the new commanders step into their positions, the battlefield is set for a comprehensive evaluation of defense strategies and the implementation of modern approaches to safeguard the nation.
We assure every Nigerian to feel safe that the armed forces of Nigeria are up and doing, we're highly professional, and we're going to be there for them.
We are witnessing more than ever before massive surrender by repentant insurgents in the northeast in a manner that beats the expectation of every observer.
This requires commitment, steadfast resolve, and collective effort. I am confident that we can transform our maritime domain in fulfillment of our national mandate.
There's no room for failure.
The impact of the change of guard in the armed forces is expected to be far-reaching, as strengthening national security will require a multidimensional approach, which includes capacity building, technological advancements, and streamlined coordination among all branches of the military. It is expected that the new Chief of Defense Staff's visionary leadership in the theatre of war will provide a strong foundation for accomplishing these objectives. Dhul-Hijjah, NTA News.
Ahead of Eid al-Kabir Salah celebration, wife of the President Oluremi Tinubu put a smile on the faces of some Nigerians. All Progressives Congress women leader Beta Edu, on behalf of the spouses of the President and Vice President, took delivery of sacrificial rams, food items including rice and clothing, to 30 selected mosques within and around the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
And of course, through her initiative, which will be coming on board very soon, to the less privileged, they would also make these donations to the mosques every time there's a Salah event coming up. They'll make these donations to churches every time we have the Easter and Christmas celebration. They can feel that impact, and their prayers is that these items that are being donated will trickle down to the grassroots, to the vulnerable, to those who truly need these items, just to ensure that everyone is happy and we can have food on our table.
The distribution can go around and wide.
In whatever he does in his office as the president of this country, that his ultimate wish is to serve Nigeria to the best of his ability, so that Nigerians and whoever has business with Nigeria will have prosperity, peace, and tranquility. Accordingly, we have been praying.
Saluhu Abdullahi Gonara reports that the team also solicited support from Nigerians through prayers to enable the government to remain focused on its goals of fulfilling its contract with the people. Panorama News will return in a moment. Do stay.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youth, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youth, let's build our nation together.
Glad to know you are with us. 8 firewood sellers were reportedly killed by gunmen suspected to be Boko Haram insurgents at Kalari Shuari in Mafu local government area in what could be a deliberate attack to dissuade people from engaging in livelihood activities. This was brought to fore when Governor Babagana Umar Zulum paid condolence visit to the affected communities, where he stressed commitment to strengthen Agro Rangers and other security operatives to ensure safety of farmers this cropping season. Mohamed Goni tells us more.
Ten men were attacked by the insurgents. 2 escaped death. They were said to be firewood sellers in search of firewood when the gunmen attacked and killed 8, as narrated by some community members. Governor Zulum, who condoled the bereaved families, condemned the killing on the innocent citizens in search of their means of livelihood and assured to take all necessary measures to protect farmers on their farmlands.
Very soon, we'll re-establish the Agro Rangers, widen the composition of the Agro Rangers, include the military, paramilitary, and others, so that we can effectively deal with the situation.
The governor equally charged farmers and other citizens not to go to places prone to attacks, even as he enjoined them to be resilient. Meanwhile, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has frowned at restriction of farmers from accessing their farmlands, even with the improvement in the security situation. The governor was at the Monagate checkpoint when he ran into farmers waiting to be allowed to fast, where he emphasized the need to allow them access their farmlands early morning to ensure food security.
We shall ensure establishment of a strong mechanism that can allow farmers to cultivate their lands.
Some of the farmers who spoke to NTA News alleged that the gate is not open early enough to allow passage, and even when it is eventually open, they have to come down from vehicles, raise their hands, and walk some distance to go to their farmlands. Pockets of attack in recent times led to killings of several farmers around Mule area close to Maiduguri. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
More than 15 farmers are believed to have been murdered on their farms in Molai General area on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, by suspected Boko Haram insurgents. Search continues for the possible victims of the attack unaccounted for in the area where the dastardly act took place. Pauline Kujevana reports.
Molai community, about 5-kilometer drive from Maiduguri metropolis, has witnessed series of attacks and killing of farmers on their farmlands at the peak of the conflict, which prevented agricultural practice until counter-insurgency operations restored order. The recent attack on farmers in Molai General area was coming following improved security in the state, where farmers from within and outside the community enjoy safe agricultural practice amidst peaceful and bumper harvest during last year's cropping season.
Today, thank God, I say there is nothing again, so now we are in our way to go farm.
They invaded into the farm. They almost killed about 28 people, and some people are missing up to now.
Muna zuwa ma muna aiki sai mu tashi muna ta dube haka. Wasu su masu samu gwana sun bar gwana mai saboda tsoro.
In addition to NSCDC personnel, CJTF, hunters and other security outfits through Agro Rangers initiative do provide security cover to farmers as they work on their farmlands.
Who have those incidents happen with them, they don't have pass. We have another way that they are following along the side. Those areas is not permitted for farmers to follow. The Borno state government is trying, but we are still urging the state governor, as he is doing the good work to the citizens of Borno state, to increase the capacity of those Agro Rangers, that is the number of personnel and the number of working tools like vehicles and others.
At least 15 farmers were killed by the Boko Haram insurgents and many others still unaccounted for while planting crops on their farmlands in Molai General area of Maiduguri.
Security is everybody's business, and then the farmers should be security conscious, so they should adhere strictly to what the security personnel tell them to do.
Borno state predominantly depends on agriculture contributing up to 65% of the state's gross domestic product before the advent of Boko Haram insurgency, which brought setback to farming activities.
Another farming season is here again, and farmers are busy clearing their farmlands, while others are planting variety of crops. But the fear of the insurgents striking at soft targets may affect the crop production this season. In Maiduguri, Paul Nkujevana, NTA News.
And now to the discussion segment. In 2016, the federal government rolled out the Agro Rangers initiative through the Ministries of Interior and Agriculture, with the mandate given to the NSCDC to serve as lead air security formation. Rising from the yoke of the insurgency, Borno State government embraced the initiative with the JTF and hunters to get farmers back on their fields, and has made significant achievements before the recent turn of events. With me in the studios to discuss more on the issues is the NSCDC Borno State Commander Farouk Musa Boy. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you, Inusa Suleiman, and then it's a pleasure for me to be in your midst. And then I hope we'll have good discussions with the viewers.
All right. As a federal government initiative, how much support has the program received from the state government and other stakeholders in Borno State?
Well, so far so good. The state government has been quite supportive. I wish to remind you that the Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, FNSA, GCON, MON, is a professional farmer himself. He's an agriculturist. He has very serious interest in agro production, and he's been quite supportive in providing logistics all around, all the time.
Okay, all right. Is there any boundary or limit in terms of coverage by the Agro Rangers squad to give cover to farmers as they work on their farmlands?
Of course, the scopes are broken into various bases. Within the metropolis and the contiguous local governments around, we have base 1. We cover areas from Old Airport Road to Auno along Kano Road. Base 2 covers Damboa Road. Base 3 covers Dalori and Amawa along Bama Road. Base 4 covers areas of Ngoa, Muna, and some other areas that are within that axis. Base 5 covers Al-Majiri camp along Gubio Road. And we're spread through the local governments and the state that are basically agrarian in nature.
Okay, tell us, the recent attack has raised fear among farmers. How can this special squad be expanded to boost the confidence and resilience of farmers for bumper harvest this year?
Presently, we are investing heavily in intelligence gathering in all the places where we operate. Intelligence is key to all manner of security operation. We are presently involved in deployment of additional personnel. We are training our men more to upskill in handling of arms and even intelligence too. I wish to appeal to the state government to be up its task as it had been. We are very grateful.
All right. What advice do you have for the farmers on security as everybody's business?
Yes, like correctly said, security is everybody's business. But unfortunately, the deteriorating situation is not to our expectation, it's not to our life. But the farmers themselves tend to know the locations, the camps of some of these bandits. And then they are non-challenged or they are docile in providing information. Again, the synergy, there is also a synergy. We have intelligence, there is a serious synergy between the farmers and the bandits. They pay taxes to them, and of course, they tend to create some confidentiality, instead of confidentiality, whereby the farmers will not reveal the location, any information about the movement of the bandits, which is further worsening the situation. Information empowers the security man. Without information, we can't do anything. Mind you, the Agro Rangers cannot be everywhere all the time, at the same time, to say everything. It's not possible. Information is power. And as such, I crave the indulgence of the farmers to to present information to not just Agro Rangers, but the security agencies so that we can fight the war till the end.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And I have been speaking with the Commandant Borno State Command of the Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps, Farouk Musa Oyu. Thank you for being part of this program.
Thank you, Malai Nusa. Goodbye, the viewers.
All right. The first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah have since time immemorial remained sacred in Islam that attracts immense reward from God when done accordingly. Let's join Abubakar Musa for more on the attributes of the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah as Muslims the world over look forward to the celebration of Eid al-Adha.
It is no longer news that the Islamic month of Dhul-Hijjah has commenced. What should be in focus now, scholars say, is how to make the best use of it towards attracting multiple reward from the Almighty. Well, I have with me here the Director, El-Kanemi College of Islamic Theology, Maiduguri, Muhammad Sani Idris El-Bulaturi, who will remind Muslims of what is expected of them in Dhul-Hijjah, especially as they look forward to Arafat and Eid al-Adha.
Thank you very much for having me. These are actually wonderful gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is out of the mercy and sympathy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the mankind that he enshrined some acts of worship that has the capacity of expiating our sins, the sins of last year and the sins of this year. That is the fasting of the day of Arafah for those that are actually not on pilgrimage. As Muslim, you are expected to also think about the orphans. How many orphans could you sew new clothes for? How many orphans and the downtrodden that you can take food to their tables? How many old women that have nobody to look after them that you'll be able to give a ram this year?
Okay, sir. Tell us those things that can easily ruin one's acts of worship in the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah.
If a Muslim is expected to devote to Allah wholeheartedly, so he should also try as much as possible to abscond and abstain, from committing any act that is prohibited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially, extending mayhem to others, will definitely lose the opportunity of being in the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah.
We appreciate you so much for talking to us. Thank you. Well, you've heard it all from the Director, El-Kanemi College of Islamic Theology, Maiduguri. It is therefore hoped that this year's Dhul-Hijjah will make a whole lot of difference in the lives of Muslims. It's now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Abubakar Musa. With that, President Bola Tinubu on Friday concluded his official trip to Paris, France, during which he had an outstanding participation in the summit for a new global financing pact hosted by France President Emmanuel Macron. Aside his participation at the event where he represented Nigeria well, President Tinubu also held high-profile sideline meetings with fellow heads of states and government, global business leaders and chief executives of leading multilateral and development financing institutions from around the world. A statement from the Special Advisor on Strategy, Dele Alakie, says the summit afforded the President the opportunity of projecting on a global stage his advocacy for widening the fiscal space, economic justice for Africa, as the world accelerates the pace of energy transition, and the urgency of addressing the pressing issues of poverty and climate change. President Tinubu, who was initially scheduled to be back in Abuja on Saturday, will now proceed to London, United Kingdom, for a short private visit. The President will be back in the country in time for the upcoming Eid al-Kabir festivity. We have come to the end of Panorama. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to be a star by joining NTA to stand against rap and rapist. I am Yunusa Suleiman. Good afternoon.